I just tracked every minute of my life for the last 60 days. And what I discovered shocked me. I was losing 43 hours every week without even realizing it. That's like having a full-time job that pays you nothing. By the end of this video, I'll show you exactly where all of those hours were going, and the simple system that I used to get them back. My productivity literally doubled in just 2 weeks after making these changes. If you feel like you never have enough time, this might be one of the most important videos that you ever watch. Let me ask you something. Do you ever feel like you're constantly busy, but at the end of the day, you can't really point out something that you did meaningful? That was me 2 months ago. I'd finish each day, but feel exhausted, and I really had nothing to show for it. My fitness goals were on hold until I had more time. My side projects were just literally side projects sitting and collecting dust. And every night I promised myself that the next morning, the next afternoon, the next evening would be different. But tomorrow never really came. Until I decided to do something more radical, a more brutal, honest truth, to look into where my time was actually going, minute by minute. 2 months ago, I personally hit rock bottom. It was one of the worst periods of my life. I was constantly stressed about work. I wasn't really getting anything done. I felt fat and gross. My skin felt icky. Every morning, I didn't enjoy waking up. Some people would call it depression or anxiety or whatever it is, but it was a rough period. And the main thing was that I perpetually felt that I was behind. See, I'm not a productivity guru or a time management expert. I'm just a young guy that's sick of wasting his life and hours passing them by. Because what's at stake here is not just your time, it's your future. Every hour, every day that is wasted compounds into opportunities that you just end up missing. Think about it this way. If you're 20 years old right now, and you just spend 3 hours a day wasting around on Netflix and social media, and to be fair, that's even less than I was spending 2 months ago. That adds up to 65,000 hours when you're 40. That's 7.5 years of your life just gone. Gone, completely gone. And what's crazy is most people won't even see it as a loss. It's just part of our society now that we spend 2 hours a day scrolling and flicking your finger. Like, we don't even question it because everyone is in this constant state of being busy. But you don't question if you're actually being effective. This isn't about hustling 24/7 or not taking breaks. It's just being intentional with your time. Because imagine if all of those just hours, those minutes that are just taken away, could be reclaimed. You might feel more relaxed, you might feel more energetic, more content with what you're doing. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly where my time was going and at what the system I used to actually reclaim my life back. And most importantly, what I did with those 43 hours that I got back every week. The first step was brutal honesty. I created a spreadsheet to track every minute of my life for an entire week. I categorized everything from sleep to work to gaming to exercise to Netflix to social media and more. The system was simple. Every 30 minutes to an hour, I would just write down genuinely what I did during that period. Everything. No exceptions. I could not hide from the truth. I thought this would be easier, but it felt slightly invasive, as if the time that I was using was being watched by security cameras and that every move was being put into this Big Brother space. But I realized I thought of myself as a very productive person. Every moment I try to do my best to be as productive as possible. But at the end of the week, I tallied up the numbers, and the numbers don't lie. I spent 28 hours on social media. 28 hours! That's genuinely more time than some people work in a week. And another 14 hours went to Netflix and to YouTube, and then 5 hours to gaming. Looking back at it, I don't even remember this time that I spent watching or playing or whatever. It's just gone. So let me break it down to you. I have the numbers right here. Social media, 28 hours. Netflix, YouTube, 14 hours. Thinking about working but not genuinely actually working, 8 hours. Looking for things that I have lost. How the fuck did I spend 4 hours on this? What's even worse is that I spent a lot of this time just multitasking. So I'd put Netflix on doing some work or scrolling on my phone while something was running in the background.
but I was just doing multiple things poorly at once. The worst part is I even remember complaining about not having the time to work out when I'd literally spent 28 hours on Netflix. And if I had just spent the same amount of time that I spent scrolling in a day, I could have had enough time to read, go to the gym twice, and worked on something meaningful. Maybe even slept longer. Looking back at this, it's not even eye-opening, it's almost just painful. The amount of time just gone into existence. But now I had data, real numbers of where my time was going. There's no way that I could sneak out of this. And I kept doing this. I feel that something changes when you actually have just data in front of you telling you how shit you are doing. Armed with this knowledge, I then decided to take a 30-day experiment. 3 simple rules. My phone shall not be touched between 5 and 10 p.m. Social media shall only be allowed for 30 minutes after 11 p.m. And every individual task I need to do every day has to be blocked. No multitasking is allowed. Then I created this environment that is just a distraction-free environment. It's the one I'm in right now. No phone in my workspace. I have earplugs. I have water. Everything that I would need to be in this space for a few hours, and I don't need to leave. I don't have to get out of my chair. I am good. And then I prioritize my workflow. Every morning, coding is the first thing that I do when I wake up and I code. That is the most important thing, is getting this code done. Then I go off to my day job. I work from 8 till 5 and I come back, work out, dinner, maybe do a little bit of additional tasks. I can talk with my girlfriend, enjoy a bit of the evening, relax, wind down, go to bed. That is what I do every day. Then the time to find spots to do this disappears because you have blocked it out. Every day I do this, I do that, I do this, I do that. And there's no excuses anymore. I remember the first week of doing this. My brain craved dopamine. I got rid of social media, I got rid of Netflix. These things were just sinking my life. I got no value out of it, and it was just a space to sink into. And after losing it, I remember craving it for the first week. It goes by painfully slow. I have it written down. One day, on day 1, I checked my phone 134 times. Almost every 7 minutes of being awake, I checked my phone. My focus was literally a disaster. It was so scattered and so difficult to just sit down for an hour to genuinely just do work without checking my phone, checking a notification, checking Twitter, checking Instagram, whatever it was. I needed something. And I even remember making videos and being like, you need to be distraction free. You need to be super dialed in, focused, obsessed, while being on my phone and being on it for 4 hours a day. I apologize to those that watch those videos because I feel almost like a hypocrite having made those videos, but progress. I am progressing as a human making these videos. I plan to make videos for a long time. Each one of these videos is going to be me being honest with this camera. But then, I think around day 9, day 10, things started to shift. It almost, I woke up one day and was just like, fuck it, let's do it. Let's run. Let's go. I don't need anything else. I'm good to go. I had so many ideas, so many plans. I actually sat down and got work done. Something I had been sitting on for 2 years that I'll tell you guys about sometime later. I actually got progress on it. And as I'm starting to go into this next phase, I'm so glad that I was able to get that work done. It just proved to me after so long, 2-3 months of having no progress, that I could get shit done. I swear on that first day I got like thousands of lines of code done and just like an actual web page was just created. By week 2, I had reclaimed 21 hours of my week. That's almost a day that was just given back to me for free. And as much as I love these sites and making content on them, if you cannot go into periods of where you can just step away from this, I don't think you can create something of immense value without losing that balance that today is from entertainment. This video took me 3 months to collect, test it, film it, edit it, and if you're getting value from it, I would seriously appreciate if you could subscribe. It would mean a lot to hear that people are actually appreciating the content that I'm making and getting value from what I have to say. Following my first 30 days, I decided to double down and do another 30 days. It was actually probably closer to like 3 weeks, 21 days, but it was the same thing. I had more energy. I was working at this peak rate. Even on days where I had literally just got my ass beat from jiu-jitsu, I would come home and crush 2 hours more of work. That was not possible before I decided to cut out the excess. I would make excuses and just say that, oh, I need to rest. I'm gonna sit down and just watch a movie and go to bed. But I had more focus and more creativity during those hours than ever before. I wanted to make this so that I could do just 60 days of sprints and not do only 3 weeks. Sundays, I allowed the end of my day, the second half of it, to be an entire wind down. No work, nothing. I would see my girlfriend, and whatever she wanted to do during that time, I would do. If it was Netflix, if it was sitting and scrolling her saved TikToks, I would do it because it was still value that I was getting from being around her and doing what she wanted to do. And it allowed me to be free, not just of these bindings that I had created to be uber productive, but to know that this was possible to just continue to do almost every week, every day. I had reclaimed 30 hours a week at that point by day 45. I literally remember feeling like I had just cracked some superpower, uber productive method that all of the super rich people were using. But then life happened, as it always does. I got so tired from jiu-jitsu and from my day job that I decided to hop on Valorant. I decided to play video games for the first time in I think a month and a half. And this was the first real test of whether or not this would just derail me completely. Because I remember being in these mindsets and then just one day can throw it all off. Start scrolling again. Oh, next week I'll figure it out. I'll get back on track. Don't worry. Maybe I would have gamed for 4 hours and then started scrolling and staying up until 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, stay on Netflix until 3 in the morning. And then every day becomes that again. So I didn't get on it. I didn't get on Valorant, because I remembered how much it would have cost me. This was kind of a reset point to me where I was like, this is too much. So I had to reschedule my time blocks to just not let myself beat myself up the fact that I was tired for a moment. I started making little schedule points of just, if I wanted to sit down and watch TV for just an hour on a Saturday, I would schedule it in. Everything on that day would be moved around to make sure that I got what I needed to get done. But as long as everything was adding up and all my time was working the way I wanted it to, it was fine. And by the end of 60 days or 51 days, however long it was, I had reclaimed 43 hours every week. That's the actual tracked time difference between before and after. I had successfully built this system. But the question remained, would these reclaimed hours genuinely change my life? Remember at the beginning of this video, I said that I was just constantly busy, but nothing was really actually getting done? That I would just half-ass projects. My fitness was probably the roughest it been. My jiu-jitsu was not really going anywhere, or stalling, not making any real progress. What I truly wanted before all this was not more time. It was to just feel as if I was making an upward trend, momentum. To wake up with energy and purpose and not stress and overwhelm that I had felt for so long. I'd completed my system. And here's what's changed. That software idea that I sat on for 2 years, I built 30% of it in the first month alone because I finally had made space to execute. My jiu-jitsu was sharper, faster, stronger because when I was training, I was focused, I was dialed in just by actually being intentional. But the biggest shift wasn't what I did, it's how I felt. I slept better, I was more present, I could actually enjoy downtime without feeling guilt, because I know I had handled what actually mattered. This didn't happen because I slept 4 hours less and was working 24/7. It was because I had just stopped the leaky hours that I already had. We all get 24 hours in a day. The difference isn't more time, it's just how you use it. When I actually started tracking my time, I saw where it was going. I stopped the bleeding, what I was disappointed with. I built a system and actually stuck to it. And for the first time in what felt like forever, I was actually moving forward. The system actually became this personal web app that I created to track all of my working hours, all of my GitHub commits, my training, my sleep, everything. It wasn't really intended for anybody else, but I've cleaned it up, and if you guys do want access to it, I can make that happen. Just let me know, because just tracking every day, every week, what I was doing made the difference that I was missing. But reclaiming time is just step one. Most people end up stalling right there because they don't actually know the best way to use the time that they've just won back. It actually relates back to one of the earlier videos that I made about learning anything faster than everybody else around you. I would start there because your future is waiting for you.